I used to think that trading was too unpredictable. It only catered towards people who could make really fast decisions in the market, and it was totally different from what I was used to as a long-term investor, where you're looking at the market from a longer-term perspective and you don't necessarily have to look at your investment portfolio day after day. One of the biggest things that I saw between investing and trading, I thought that traders were basically people who love really high-pressure, high-stakes situations, and I also thought that they were people who didn't mind watching their money fluctuate hour by hour. I imagined very stressful environments, screens everywhere, and then also needing to be at the screen 24/7 because you always had to be on in order to prepare for the next move or make sure that you take your profits because the market can flip at any second. My perspective has shifted drastically. Trading is now one of the most empowering financial skills that someone could learn, and I firmly believe that anybody can learn this skill, especially with the right structure, mindset, and support. And the confidence didn't come from anything external. It came from stepping into the space slowly, asking thoughtful questions, and committing to learning. So in this video, I want to walk you through what changed for me, especially if you've ever assumed that trading was for a specific type of person, or if you felt like trading was out of reach for your lifestyle. This is a conversation definitely worth having. Before I started trading, I was deeply engaged in my finances. I didn't really have a whole lot of good examples growing up, so what I did was basically just went to the library, I found some books from Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, and all those other finance people that you may have heard of, and just basically just started collecting information on what I should be doing with this much larger paycheck that I was finally gaining after I graduated college with an undergrad degree in mechanical engineering. And that helped me understand how to build wealth over time. At that time, I was only using long-term strategies. I had a strong handle on budgeting, saving, and investing for the future. That approach for me felt thoughtful, respectful, and sustainable. So with that approach, I didn't have to check my portfolio every day. I could just let time do its thing, and then once I hit a certain age, I would have this big pile of money inside of my accounts. When I heard about trading, at least for the very first time, years after I'd been an investor, it seemed like the opposite approach. The pace of the charts, the frequency, and all the decisions that I would possibly have to make very fast seemed like a totally different world. People talked about the flexibility that it gave them, the extra income that it gave them, and then also the skills that they gained going through the process. No one explained how risk management, a clear structure, step-by-step instructions, and also a supportive community could mean for my trading. And it would have the possibility to change everything. Once I saw that, things started opening up. And those beliefs that once felt like walls, they started to look more like open doors. And I noticed how oftentimes we can count ourselves out of things just because we haven't been exposed to them. I realized that it's not out of reach. It's because it hasn't been explained to us in a way that truly fits our life. That realization made me wonder, what else have I talked myself out of? And how much further could I be if I didn't have some of those beliefs? And that's when I decided to lean into trading. I started asking myself better questions. Instead of saying, this is too risky, I started to ask myself, how do professional traders manage risk? Instead of just saying, this is going to be a lot of time, I'm going to be sitting at these charts all day, I asked myself, how do people manage their busy lives and work a 9-to-5 job and fit trading into their schedule? It's possible. If they can do it, I can do it. And that perspective shifted everything. And another big shift came from when I stopped watching trading from the sidelines and I started to actually work with people who had that consistency that I was looking for inside of the markets. Not all traders are going to be super flashy, showing off wins. It's all just a personal preference. All of them, flashy or not, were thoughtful, steady individuals who documented their process over time, and they were able to teach me in a way that I could easily understand and also fit into my crazy schedule working in high-level leadership positions. They showed me how they planned their trades, how they measured the outcomes, and also adjusted their strategies when the market changed, and then also how they treated trading like a craft and not just a hobby. They weren't sitting at screens all days, and they weren't just throwing money into random trades. They had routines, plans, and limits. Many of them had full-time jobs, kids, responsibilities, responsibilities and other things that they had going on. They weren't immersed in the market 24/7. They were fitting trading into their lives in ways that made sense for them. And that totally changed how I saw this entire space. I realized that trading could be quiet, focused, and intentional. It could be a structured process that I could use to build skill and confidence. And it could be aligned with the same values that I used inside of investing. And that's when I became curious enough to start learning trading. And there was something else that I noticed as well. The more I paid attention, there were more women inside of this space than I originally thought. Women who were running their households, had full-time jobs, mentoring others, and still finding time to trade. They weren't waiting for perfect conditions. They weren't worried about being experts. They were learning and applying. And they were modeling a version of financial self-help that I wanted to model in my own life. And that also gave me the push to continue forward. So once I started to explore trading seriously, I gave myself a clear starting point. And I didn't jump into everything all at once. I focused on just trading one strategy and one strategy alone. And I built a system around it that made sense for my lifestyle at the time. And now I use that same rhythm in order to teach the people inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. On the weekends, I analyze my charts, I mark them up in order to prepare for the week ahead. During the week, I check alerts, I make minor adjustments, and then also I check on any open positions. And then also if I'm looking to open a position as well, I'm checking out the market and seeing where it's at. And maybe that takes about 20-30 minutes. And especially since now I could break it up throughout the day where I take a minute here, 2 minutes there, 3 minutes there, it adds up to maybe about an hour or so per day max. This rhythm is realistic, sustainable, and very effective inside of the markets. It allowed me to stay present in other areas of my life while still building the skill set of trading, and I'm still learning things to this day. And most importantly, it gave me clarity. I wasn't just guessing as to what the market would do. I had structure and I had a system that works. And having that structure in place removed all of the stress that I thought I would have to deal with. It showed me that you don't need a special background. You don't need to be gifted. You just need some discipline, some structure, and the willingness to keep going and trading. And those are going to be the things that really help you get over this bridge. The bridge of going from not knowing what to do to being confident and consistently profitable inside of the markets. And coming up with this plan week after week and showing up week after week shows me just how much power there is in being consistent. Because when you're intentional and your focus is going to beat the people who are just studying randomly. Maybe they work and they find some time after work and they study a bit of the market, maybe for an hour or so, and then they don't pick it up for weeks. Those people are not going to be successful. But when you're intentional and you pick very dedicated small pockets of time in order to focus on the markets over a long period of time, and long varies, but basically you're going to have way more success. Even if that person wanted to study every single day for a month, if you've been doing this thing for 30 minutes, 60 minutes per day for months, there's no way they can catch up with you. And because I practiced and practiced, the more I practiced, the more confidence I gained and the more I trusted myself in order to take trades inside of the market. I became very comfortable with making decisions in a split second, and then also carried over into other areas of my life, such as my full-time job, where I'm making decisions all the time. But usually it's not as quick as the decisions you have to make inside of the market in that split second when you see the candle pops up and you know that, hey, this is my signal, let me enter. Trading has taught me to take calculated action. It taught me how to focus, and it taught me how to let go of the outcome but focus on the process. These are skills that don't just stay inside of your portfolio. They influence how you lead, how you respond to challenges outside of trading, and how you plan in other areas of your life. And now I know for a fact trading isn't about high-risk trades. It's not about chasing trends. It's about mastering a process. It's not chaotic when it's done with intention. It's not a mystery when you have support. And another thing that's true is that trading can work for professionals, creatives, and also people who are parents. It can work for people who are new to the market, and it can also work for people who have some kind of history in investing like I did. And it can work if you give it a very clear place in your daily routine and actually make the time for it. And inside of my membership, I specifically help women do exactly that. Not by overwhelming them with information, by walking them through one simple, repeatable system and then also working with them while they practice. And the results speak for themselves. Members build confidence with each trade. They start to trust their own decisions. They move from uncertainty to clarity just one step at a time. And you know what else happens? They realize that they don't necessarily have to choose between financial growth and having a life. Because the way that I teach, you can have both of them. So if you've been telling yourself that trading is too risky, I hope this video has helped you see things differently. It's not about being fearless. It's about being consistent with the right support. And that's exactly what we do inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. If you're ready to learn in a clear and structured way, then go ahead and check out the link in the description box below so that way you could read more about it and potentially join us. I really hope you do. And if you like this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe because currently we are posting 3 times per week, posting amazing videos, amazing content that people typically pay for. So go ahead and subscribe and feel free to watch any of the other videos here on this screen, and I'll see you in the next videos.